Hello, my name's Kaylee and these are my books. So today's video is a 24-hour readathon reading vlog. I am a part of Riley's Patreon. Her channel will be linked down below. And on her Patreon, she is doing a 24-hour readathon with lots of reading sprints along the way. So I figured I would vlog my experience in this 24-hour readathon. I've never actually done a 24-hour readathon before, and I'm curious how much reading I can get done. I am going to be sleeping though. I need my sleep. I love sleep so much, so I will not be giving up sleep even for reading, but I am gonna stay up as late as I can tonight and then just sleep in tomorrow morning. So the readathon is going from noon today until noon tomorrow. Today is a Saturday, so this is a weekend readathon. I am trying to read 4 romance books. So the books I'm trying to read are Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. This is the last book in the Twisted series. I've really enjoyed all of them. The first one was just okay, but books 2 and 3 were both 5 stars for me, so I'm excited to read this last one. I'll update you with the synopses as I read more in the books and can actually tell you more about these books, but right now I don't know a lot. I know Twisted Lies is another dark romance, and it's following the last girl in the friend group that all of the Twisted series follows. And I know it has fake dating in it, and I know it follows a kind of social media influencer and a gruff, grumpy guy. And then I will be reading Hate by Tate James. This is my very first Tate James book. I'm excited to give this author a try because I know a lot of people love her stuff. The only thing I know about this book is it's a reverse harem school setting, but not high school. It's set in college. And then I will also be reading Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This is a dark romance Peter Pan retelling. I don't actually know if the romance is between a girl and Peter Pan or a girl and Captain Hook. I'm assuming Captain Hook, but a lot of people really like this one, and it seems like this one will have some more fantasy vibes, and I love fantasy romance, so I'm curious to give it a go. And the last book on my official TBR is book 3 in the Ice Planet Barbarian series by Ruby Dixon. I think this one's called Barbarian Lover. I've absolutely loved the first 2 books in this series, so I'm excited to continue on with book 3. All of these are available on Kindle Unlimited as well, so if you have Kindle Unlimited, you have access to all of these titles. But that is the intro. I'm going to jump into reading the books now. Hello, so I was watching Riley's morning sprints all morning, and on those sprints I ended up reading 20% of Hooked, which isn't as much as I wanted to, but I wanted to first finish up the book that I was almost done with. It was It Ain't Me Babe by Tilly Cole, so that's not part of the readathon, not part of the reading for this vlog, but that's why I'm only 20% into Hooked, because I only really read it for the last sprint. However, I am 20% into Hooked, and it is way different than I thought. I totally was wrong when I said it is fantasy romance. It is not fantasy romance. This is one of those situations where Goodreads did me dirty, you know, because I did not want to read the synopsis on Goodreads because I just wanted to go in blind, but I did scroll down and read the little genres that's at the bottom of Goodreads, and fantasy is like the top genre. And then there's no fantasy in this book. Like, it's not fantasy at all. And then I went back and read the synopsis, and it literally says in the synopsis, this is not fantasy. I'm like, what the heck, Goodreads? Why does it say fantasy in the genre for Hooked? But it doesn't matter because I am really enjoying it. It's more like it fits in the mafia romance category than fantasy romance. There's no fantasy, so it's much more like a mafia romance, except they aren't explicitly talking about a mafia, but the main dude kind of acts like he's the head of this mafia organization. And basically, he is Hook, and he likes Wendy, but Wendy is the daughter of Peter, and Peter and Hook are like huge business rivals, and they're both doing shady business, so they're kind of like the mob or different mafias or something like that. And so Hook wants to go after Wendy as kind of a big FU to Peter and try to be like, well, you know, you suck, I hate you, I'm gonna take your daughter. So the vibes are a lot of fun, I'm enjoying it, but that's the synopsis for this book. It is not fantasy at all. I will say there's a really funny part where Hook has this, like, he hates the sound of ticking. He hates like ticking clocks, and there's this one stopwatch that kind of haunts him, much like Captain Hook and Peter Pan. And I so relate to him because I can't have clocks anywhere in the house, like any of the clocks with the hands on them, because the ticking noise, no one else really gets bothered by them, I feel like, but for me, it's like nails on a chalkboard, those little slight ticking noise. Like, I can hear it and I can't concentrate on anything if I hear that ticking noise. So it's kind of funny that Hook is dealing with the same issue. And I'm like, am I Captain Hook? Because yes, ticking noises are terrible. Also, Teddy is really hating that he can hear some noises outside. So sorry about his huffing. But I am now starting Hate by Tate James because I want to read with my eyeballs now. And I'm just like a page in, so I don't really know what's going on still, but they are talking about Halloween and they're dressed in Halloween costumes. So that is a great start because I am in the Halloween mood. It is September, I want all the fall vibes, so maybe Hate is like a Halloween romance? I don't know. I'll update you in the next clip. Okay, so I'm in the middle of my own sprints, but I wanted to update because I have two important pieces of news. I made it to page 150 of Hate by Tate James, and I'm loving it. And it's already half gone because I couldn't wait to drink it. It's I made my very first frozen hot chocolate because Jessica on my sprints in the chat let me know that she made frozen hot chocolate and shared the recipe, and it's so good. It's so good. Like, this cup is giant, as you can tell. Here it is next to my head. It's as big as my head, and it was full. I kind of overestimated how much milk and ice I would need, but it is so freaking good. I'm like, do I just want to drink another one of this frozen hot chocolate for dinner? Kind of. That's like kind of what I want to do. It's just a packet of hot chocolate. I used 1 pump of my white chocolate syrup that I used to make white mochas in the morning, and then milk and ice, and so good. And then Hate by Tate James is so good too. I mean, I'm reading it so fast. I think in the last 45-minute sprint I read 75 pages, which is a lot for me, and it's reading so fast. Let's see. It says I have 2 hours left of reading time, so I should be able to finish this without many problems. Oh my gosh, my mascara is all smudged. Oh well. The premise basically is we follow this girl who is out on Halloween night with her friend, and they are watching this illegal boxing match, but then these rival gangs kind of start a war in this boxing match, and there's a lot of gun violence, and they're running away. And basically our main character, she gets framed for the whole thing and she becomes a scapegoat. And then we cut to 9 months later after she's out of jail and back in this town. And that doesn't spoil anything. That's literally the premise, how it starts. And she's living at her father's house, but her father is away on vacation. And her father has gotten married or has a live-in girlfriend since she's been away. And the 3 men that she is living with, I'm still unclear. One of them is for sure her stepbrother, but I don't know who the other 2 are, if they're just his friends that also live there. But they're the ones that set her up to be a scapegoat for the night. So she hates them. It's a hate to love romance. There's 3 of them. It's going to be reverse harem. That hasn't started yet though. And there's this new university in their town. It's kind of like her father is the head honcho in this town. He's a morally gray character for sure. He's a legal head of this town, but he does illegal stuff to become the legal head of this town. So this isn't mafia romance, but it's got a lot of the same premises and tropes as mafia romance. And right now they're all just kind of bullying each other, and it's so much fun. They keep pranking each other and their pranks are just ridiculous. And this university is a lot of fun because basically this university is brand new. Her father started this university because he wants this town to be a big deal, and so he wants this town to have their own prestigious university. So she is going to school there along with all the other town's elite, which involves the 3 guys that she lives with. They banter both in their home and at school, and the pranks take place at the home and at school. And so the school setting is a big part of this book as well. It's so much fun. It's reading so quickly, and if it continues to read how it's reading right now, this is definitely feeling like a 5-star, and it's possibly feeling like a new favorite. All right, so it is late. The makeup is smudged. We're just leaving it because it's late and I can't be bothered. I'm about to go take it off anyways. Oh, you could see Teddy's little toy back here. Cute. I finished Hooked. I did finish Hooked. I ended up listening to it on audio. It was 340 pages. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. There were some crazy moments in it. There were a lot of fun, smutty scenes in it, but it was missing something. I wasn't obsessed with it. I wasn't in love with it. It was an enjoyable, nice read, but just like, that's it. So I'm glad I read it, and the Peter Pan connections were really cute. Teddy is eating a treat in my ear, and that's unpleasant. Let me move forward a little bit. The Peter Pan connections are mostly surface level, but in a fun, amusing way. So like I said, don't be dumb like me and think this is fantasy romance. It is not. It's much more like organized crime boss, slight mafia vibes, romance, and I'm glad I read it. I don't know if I will continue on in the series. It's not a book I'm going to be thinking about for a while. I also made a coffee because I am trying to stay up for another couple of hours tonight. It's like 11 right now. I would like to stay up until 2 or 3 reading tonight. We'll see. I'm getting nervous about being able to finish all these books. I have about 100 pages left of Hate. I'm obsessed with Hate. That is one I'm super, super enjoying, and it still is giving me those 5-star feels. The antics that these characters are getting up to is so entertaining, and I care so much about all of them. Like, I'm so emotionally invested, and the smut has been so good. The tension is so good. The banter is so good. The antics, the pranks, like, I love everything about this book. But of course, I'm not done yet, so I can't give it an official 5-star rating yet. But, you know, so I read Hooked, which is 340 pages. I'm about to finish Hate, which is like 410 pages. And then I still want to read Barbarian Lover and Twisted Lies. I had no idea how long Twisted Lies was, and I just looked it up, and it's almost 600 pages. 600 pages? I'm gonna read 600 pages before noon tomorrow? I don't think so. I'm gonna try. But I really set myself up for failure when I was selecting these books. Why did I select a 600-page book for my fourth readathon book? That was the last book I chose for my TBR. Yikes, 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 yikes. So I'll check back in when I finish Hate and I'll let you know what I think, but I'm predicting right now it's 5 stars. The absolute audacity for a Hate to finish on a cliffhanger. A huge cliffhanger. What? How am I supposed to continue reading other books and continue with my TBR with that cliffhanger? Like, what am I supposed to do with that cliffhanger? Do I just abandon everything and read the other 3 books in this series? There's 3 other books in this series. I can't read 3 other books in this readathon. I don't want to abandon my TBR, but how do I continue on with this cliffhanger? Like, how do I reconcile this cliffhanger with my thoughts and feelings and love for this book? I'm distraught. I'm confused. But ultimately, I'm in love. I'm in love with this book. 5 stars. I mean, that says a lot because I hate cliffhanger endings. Like, I hate them. I think they're cheap. I think they're a dumb way to get the reader to read the next book. But Tate James can do no wrong, so it doesn't apply to her. That criticism does not apply to her. Tate James. What the heck? Like, I absolutely love Tate. What a wild ride. I did not expect us to get some circus slasher moments in there. I will not elaborate because I don't want to spoil anything. But like some Cirque Berserk feelings, some Cirque Berserk vibes. This book was awesome. This book was so good. 5 stars, new favorite. Like, but the cliffhanger. do I just start reading Twisted Lies right now? How am I supposed to start reading Twisted Lies? Like, do I just not read Twisted Lies and read the next book? But then I'm not even trying to do my TBR. And I already filmed the intro. Do I re-film the intro and pretend like I was never gonna read Twisted Lies? That's inauthentic though. That was not the plan. The plan was to read Twisted Lies and only read hate. Oh my God. I don't know what to do. He wants to go to bed. I'm awake now. I am awake now. I literally don't know what I'm gonna do, so I can't tell you what I'm gonna read next because I have no freaking clue. I'm probably just gonna sit here for 20 minutes trying to figure out what the heck to read. So I guess I'll check in probably tomorrow morning and let you know what I ended up reading for the rest of the night. It's like, what time is it? It's 12:30. It's past midnight. I still have makeup on. What the heck? So I'm gonna take off my makeup and just, the makeup is melting, let's be real. It's not cute right now. But I'm gonna take off my makeup. We're gonna go lay in bed and I'm going to hopefully read some more for another 2 hours, but I don't know what. Hey James, what did you do to me? Why didn't I read this earlier? Oh my God, okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. You ready to wake up? Good morning. Oh my gosh, Teddy's just casually choking on a little bone I gave him. He's fine. I made myself some coffee, some vampire juice, and I last night got not that far. I got tired. I read 60 pages of Twisted Lies. I'm really enjoying it though. The dynamics between these two are amazing. So I could tell you a little bit more about the premise now. Basically, Stella is an influencer and she's competing for this partnership job with a bunch of other influencers. But her follow count has kind of stagnated at right under 1 million. And she needs this money really badly because she's paying for this other woman's care. And the woman's apartment is going up in cost. And so she thinks a great way to get her follow count up is to have a fake boyfriend on her profile, because that's what's really in right now. People love looking at relationships. And so she gets a fake boyfriend in Christian, who is this guy that's obviously obsessed with her, but he's a very tough, important millionaire, possibly billionaire dude. I'm not really sure, but we know he's super freaking rich, right? And he's a part of this club full of other billionaires that kind of just control the world. So he is very, I want to say stiff, but that sounds bad, but you know, he's a very serious guy pretty much. And so he's grumpy. That's a great way to put it. He's a little bit grumpy. So he enters into this agreement because he needs a woman to come with him for these very fancy, important events, to be on his arm and to be charming. And so it's fake dating with a contract, and it's so good so far, so good. And then this morning while I was walking Teddy and just making my coffee and stuff like that, I started listening to Barbarian Lover, and I'm 25% of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it. This one's interesting because all of the Ice Planet Barbarian books are about breeding, like they're about making new babies, and that's fine, you know, like it's kind of ridiculous, and I totally get why a lot of people don't like the books because of that, but I'm fine with that. However, this book follows a woman who can't have children, and so I'm very interested to see what the plot does with that, since reading is such a big deal in the other book. So I'm intrigued. It's so funny so far, so charming so far. I'm really, really enjoying it. So it is 9 in the morning right now, and officially the readathon ends at noon, which is 3 hours from now. However, I started 2 hours late yesterday, and I started at 2 p.m. So that's going to be my official end time, 2 p.m. today. Cheating a little bit, but it's still 24 hours for me. I just moved the official readathon to be a bit just 2 hours late. So I will check in when I have more to say about my books, but hopefully I'm able to finish both of them before 2. We'll see. So I just finished Barbarian Lover, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I had a lot of fun with it. The plot was a lot of fun. These books are so silly, though, you know, that they're entertaining, but they're not books that are objectively great, but I just have so much fun with them. I always rate them 4 or 5 stars. This one is 4 stars just because I feel like the main girl in this story could have been a bit more interesting. She was kind of boring, which is sad because she's the one with the little translator in her ear, and I was excited to hear about her story, but she was fine. I didn't dislike her. I just didn't like her that much either. But the alien guy in the story was fantastic. I loved him. And so that's why it's getting 4 stars, because I loved him. And then the actual plot that they are experiencing was pretty good too. I can't really tell you the premise though, because it will spoil the first book. But this is alien romance. A bunch of human women in the first book get kidnapped by aliens. But the aliens they fall in love with are not the kidnappers. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I can't really say anything else. There's nothing else that's really going on in these books besides just some fun vibes. And now I'm moving on to reading more of Twisted Lies. It is 11 a.m. So I have technically 3 hours to finish this book, and there's like 500 pages left. So I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm gonna give it my best go. We'll see. I think I'll probably just check in at 2 and let you know where I got to. And if I'm almost done, I might just cheat a little bit. I'll let you guys know if I'm cheating, but I might just cheat a little bit. Because if I only have like 100 pages left, I'm just gonna finish it. And this vlog will be more interesting anyways if I tell you my final thoughts instead of me saying, oh, I'm halfway through a book. But we'll see. If I'm nowhere close to being done though, then we're just gonna call it wherever I'm at 2 o'clock. So I'll see you in 3 hours. Hello, so this is going to be my final check-in because it is 2 o'clock. So we are at the end of the 24 hours. And I know I mentioned I might possibly go over it if I'm close to finishing Twisted Lies. I am not close to finishing. These last couple hours were not as productive as I wanted them to be. I got a little bit distracted by booktube and by TikTok and by my mom calling, and I talked to her for an hour on the phone because I love my mom. But I only made it to page 150 in Twisted Lies. I am really, really enjoying it though, but because I'm only on page 150 and there's nearly 600 pages in this book, I'm not gonna extend this 24-hour readathon by another 10 hours because I have a lot of pages left. And so I'm just calling it here. If you want to know my final thoughts on Twisted Lies, you'll have to check out my mid-month wrap-up, which will be out in, around September 15th, September 16th, and I'm sure by then I will have finished Twisted Lies. I'm calling it here. It's a little bit unsatisfying to end the vlog in the middle of a book, but that's going to be inevitable in these timed reading vlogs, right? So we'll just go with it. I did end up finishing 3 books in these 24 hours, which were Hooked, Barbarian Lover, and Hate. And so Hate got 5 stars. It's the winner of this video. And then Barbarian Lover and Hooked both got 4 stars. Thoroughly enjoyable, but just not new favorites. And I feel pretty proud of myself because in these last 24 hours, I read 1,100 pages, which I think is pretty good. I think it's impressive for me. So I'm happy with it, even though I didn't finish that 4th book. And so technically I failed my TBR, but a 5-star and 2 4-stars, and Twisted Lies is feeling so far like a 4 or a 5-star. We're calling it a win overall. I'm not gonna do a more formal outro because honestly, I don't feel like getting ready today. I just kind of want to stay in my pajamas all day, and I just downloaded Disney's Dreamlight Valley game, and those are my plans for the rest of the day. I will be playing Disney's Dreamlight Valley. So when you see this video, if you're curious about my progress in the game, you know, drop a comment down below and I'll let you know how it's going and if the game is worth it. Because guess what? I got the ultimate pack. I dropped $70 on this game. Was that a smart decision? I don't know. We'll find out. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've read any of the books I read, let me know what you thought about them and let me know what dark romance I should read next. I'm definitely reading more from Tate James, especially because Hate ended on that cliffhanger. I might need to fit the next couple books in that series into this September TBR. But if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and consider subscribing for more content, and I'll see you next time. Bye.